This wall should not be able to hold a massive beast of a radiator like this one. This house is about 140 years old and the wall acts like it. It's crumbling, it's deteriorated. Standard plugs, screws and methods will not hold this radiator on this wall. This one, however, is solid. It's even strong enough for me to have a little lie down on. I will be talking you through every step of the process, including how to assess the wall, what sort of plugs to use in what areas, and how to get them in so that radiator is strong. Once it's full of water, this Type 22 radiator will weigh about 12 stone, which is the size of a full-grown man. Heavy radiators and deteriorated walls is quite a common issue that people have to deal with. Some real solutions to some real-life problems coming right up. First job then, get some pencil marks on the wall where we're going to be drilling. It's always a good idea on deteriorated walls like this to start with a small drill bit. I'm using a 6mm. There's two reasons for that. Firstly, it means you can assess what the wall's actually made of in that particular area, but also you will find that the area around the holes will crumble less with a smaller drill bit. So the good news for this one then is I've managed to hit some brick. You can see it was brick by the sound of it, because you can hear the hammer on the hammer drill putting some work in, but also you can see the orange dust coming out of the holes as I'm drilling it. So it's definitely 3 holes of brick, which is one of the best holes. We want brick for a heavy radiator. One other thing that you may or may not have noticed was that the surface plaster is really deep. I reckon it's at least 2 centimeters deep, the surface plaster. So we've got a bit of plaster to drill through before we even hit the brick. So a standard 30mm plug is only going to go 1 centimeter into the brick. So we need some proper plugs for this, not just normal plugs. So what I'm going to be using are these bad boys. These are 8mm wide and 10 centimeters long, so they're going to go well into the brickwork. So that's the actual plug and the screw that comes with it, and you can see they are 10 centimeters, so big old screws and plugs. Now I'm using an 8mm drill bit to make the holes the correct size for the fittings. I forgot to video myself putting the plugs in the holes, but there you go, they're in the holes. These are the 10 centimeter long plugs that we looked at earlier in the video. Back on the 6mm drill bit then, doing the bottom 3 holes for this same bracket. This is a very strange house. It has some strange walls. I've got brick at the top, at the bottom I'm hitting hollow. It's got surface plaster, a little bit crumbly. There's no brickwork behind it. I got through the plaster and then I just went straight through with my drill bit. So it's a little bit weaker and there's a little bit more. We're gonna have to use a different fitting on these bottom holes than we did on the top holes coming up. So for these 3 holes, we're gonna be using these hollow wall fittings. As you can see, you tighten up the bolt and it pulls the back edge into position and pulls it all tight. Really good fittings, definitely recommend. Bit of wall is quite bad, it is quite deteriorated. But you'll see these fittings we're gonna use really do make a difference. So with these ones, you've got to take the bolt out first, and it really is as simple as put them in the hole and knock them all the way in. You can see how easy it just goes straight into the hole. Don't worry if they're a bit loose and the wall deteriorates a bit more, these things will do the job. That one's gone in lovely and tight. Let's get this top one in first then. You can hear that. When it bites you, it sort of opens up inside the wall and you can really feel it and really hear it. Trick is not to go too far with it. You don't want to deteriorate the plaster around where it's gripping. So when you start hearing that crunch, just 1 or 2 more little turns and then that's it done. There you go, that's beautiful, that's really strong. Then, for some reason that I never quite figured out, this final bolt just wouldn't go in the damn fitting. The rest of the fittings for this bracket had gone in so well though, I knew it was going to be enough, even just whacking a standard wood screw in the hole instead. Get these other 2 top ones in. As long as we hear a nice little crunch at the end from the impact driver, then we know it's good. That crunch, you hear that? There you go, that's the crunch. We know that is tight and it's strong when you hear that noise. That is a beautiful noise, I love it. Onto the second bracket then. I'm going to do this one much more speeded up, a lot less talking. It is exactly the same process as the first bracket. And as with the first bracket, I also found different surfaces again. I'm using 3 of the 10cm plugs and 3 of the hollow wall plugs. Some of them right next to each other as well, which is really odd. I will be hanging the radiator very shortly, and I will be having a little lie down on it to make sure it's strong. Final bracket then, done at 100 miles an hour. Also, just to let you know, I will put some links in the description and in the comments as well for the different plugs I've used in this video for you. All 3 brackets are on then. I've just got to figure out now, how the hell am I going to lift this behemoth of a radiator onto them brackets all by myself? Anything is possible with the use of an empty paint can. Yes, you can fit a radiator, even a huge Type 21, really heavy one like this, onto an old deteriorated wall. So long as you use the right fixings in the right places and you hear that crunch, it can be as strong as anything. And just to prove it, it can even hold the weight of a slightly round middle-aged man. For your next watch then, on the top left is a really interesting video where I fit skirting boards using expanding foam. In the middle, cheeky subscribe button, and on the right is a floating shelf build video.